Once upon a time, there was a little yellow tugboat named Tuggy. He had always been little, and all the other tugs picked on him. Poor Tuggy, he didn't have any friends. Bully Tug was a big red tugboat that liked to tease Tuggy and splash water all over him. One day, Tuggy went out into the ocean all by himself. He started to cry. Suddenly, a school of dolphins swam up beside him.
"Why are you crying?"
they asked. He sobbed.
"I don't have any friends. The big tugboats pick on me."
"We'll be your friends,"
exclaimed the dolphins. All the dolphins swam around and played with him. This made Tuggy so happy. Tuggy stopped crying. From then on, whenever he felt lonely, Tuggy chugged out to sea to play with his new friends. They did not make him feel small or different. They accepted him as he was and cheered him up. When Tuggy got older, he went to work in the harbor. Because he was so little, he could only get jobs pushing the smallest barges. The big boats chugged by him, creating rocking waves that made it hard to do his work. When there were only a few jobs, the bigger tugs took all the work, and even the little barges were taken over by boats like Bully Tug. The big tugs told him,
"Go home and grow up."
One day a terrible storm arose. All the tugs were afraid, and they stayed in the docks. No one dared leave the protection of the harbor. The wind howled, the rain came down in buckets, and the waves crashed onto the shore. Suddenly, an emergency message came to the harbor captain. The pleasure ship Lady Slipper was having engine trouble. It needed a tow into the harbor. There were many, many people aboard, and they were afraid. The strong wind was pushing them toward a rocky shore. The ship's captain feared all his passengers would be hurt badly if someone didn't come out to help. The harbor captain went to the docks and first approached Bully Tug to help the Lady Slipper.
"No way,"
said Bully Tug.
"I won't go out there in that terrible storm and be dashed to pieces."
One by one, all the other tugboats refused the captain. Tuggy felt sorry for all those people on the Lady Slipper.
"What will happen to them?"
he asked.
"I don't even want to think about it,"
whispered the very worried captain.
"Then I will go,"
said Tuggy, and all the other boats laughed.
"Who are you to try and save anyone?"
the big boat scoffed. Tuggy ignored all their jeers.
"Someone must save them,"
the little yellow tugboat replied as he chugged out of the harbor all by himself. As he left the shelter of the harbor, the wind became much worse. Waves crashed right over Tuggy. He barely made any progress, and it got darker and darker. Finally, he spotted the Lady Slipper. It was almost on the rocks. Tuggy pulled alongside and started to push. He chugged and chugged with all his might. He slowed the movement. Still, Lady Slipper moved closer toward the rocks. As hard as he tried, Tuggy could not stop the big ship. Suddenly, Tuggy's dolphin friends appeared. They all joined together and pushed against the Lady Slipper. Slowly, the boat began to move away from the rocks. The dolphins had helped save it from smashing. Tuggy was scared. How could he ever find his way back to the harbor? It was now so deep dark out. The wind still blew. The lightning cracked. The thunder roared.
"Don't worry, follow us,"
said the dolphins. Tuggy then threw a rope to the ship's captain, who tied it tightly so they were lashed together. Tuggy started pulling Lady Slipper. Chug, chug. The wind continued to howl and the waves crashed over Tuggy. Chug, chug, chug. This was so very hard. Some of the dolphins stayed around the ship and continued to help push. Other dolphins formed a giant circle around Tuggy and Lady Slipper to try to calm the waves. Even with the dolphins around Tuggy and Lady Slipper, big waves bombarded the two boats. It was hard to hear anything over the screaming wind and the growling thunder. The dolphin swam in front of Tuggy to show him the way back to the harbor. Tuggy's engine worked as hard as possible. He was shaking so much that he thought he might break apart. Water leaked in from the cracks, caused by the shaking. Tuggy's water pumps pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped some more. Still the water rushed back in through the cracks. Oh no! Finally, the entrance to the harbor appeared through the pre-dawn light. The little lighthouse on the high cliff blinked.
You are home! You are home! You are home!
Red buoy flashed.
Red, right, returning.
Green buoy blinked. His work was done when Tuggy went out to sea. By the time they arrived outside the harbor, the sky became brighter as daylight arrived. A big rainbow shone in the sunshiny sky. The tugs in the harbor saw exhausted Tuggy coming in with Lady Slipper in tow. Chug, chug, pump, pump, sigh. They all tooted their whistles in a big cheer. Tuggy was a hero. He saved all the people. Tuggy rescued all the daddies, mommies, grandpas, grandmas, and children on the Lady Slipper. The captain was so relieved that he removed his hat and bowed to the little tugboat in gratitude. The next day, when the storm had calmed, the mayor of the town proclaimed the day Tuggy Day. They had a big celebration in the harbor. All the people who had been on the Lady Slipper gave Tuggy a big cheer. Hooray! The mayor gave him a special medal for his smokestack. Even Bully Tug congratulated him.
I'm proud of you, Tuggy. It was not fair of me to judge you on your little size.
Thank you, Bully Tug,
said Tuggy.
Good friends watch out for each other no matter if they're big or small. I also did it with the help of my wonderful dolphin friends.
So from that day on, Tuggy always had jobs to do. Plus, he worked right alongside the giant tugs. He was still so little, yet brave. Tuggy went into the tiny places to help in big ways. Sometimes, on his days off, he chugged back out into the sea to play with his dolphin friends. Now Tuggy was a very happy tugboat that never forgot his ocean friends who helped him save the people. Tuggy says,
Together, we can do hard things.
The end.